So in this chapter, we'll be discussing about corporate governance. Corporate governance is a set of rules, controls, policies, and resolutions that are put in place to dictate corporate behavior. So basically, it's like balancing the interest of various stakeholders. See, company cannot focus on just one particular stakeholder like shareholders. Shareholders means if the company is focused entirely on shareholders, then it always attempts to increase the share price, putting at the backseat other stakeholders. That cannot happen. Or government cannot exclusively focus on management or customers, suppliers. All the stakeholders are important. So community also forms a part of corporate governance. Community means that's why you see a lot of banks get into this charitable activities and like social programs. They make some donations, and all this comes under corporate governance. So that's corporate governance is not just about donations and all. It's much more comprehensive. Right? It includes action plans and controls, corporate disclosure. So in financial statements, balance sheets, what are the information the company should disclose for the sake of good order. Okay, so all this comes under corporate governance. So one of the most important aspects in corporate governance is the board of directors, because this is the ultimate decision making, policy making body of a company. In banks also we discussed we have a board of directors. So it's very important because the board of directors will be the primary direct stakeholder which influence the corporate governance. So the directors, they are elected by shareholders or appointed by other board members, and we have a concept called independent directors. In boards, they should be independent members, because insiders like founders or promoters, the top executives, they will have a different interest. Whereas if you have an independent, that's why you see some of the biggest companies, say for example Infosys, you look at the board of directors, you will find some reputed independent directors, people who are not attached to this company, people from other companies or ex management of some other reputed company, like. So that is corporate governance. Okay, so we are trying to manage the affairs in a very integral way, in a way of full of integrity. Okay, this will be helpful for companies, for governance, and for the image, public image also. So bad corporate governance will cast a doubt on the company's reputation and integrity. And it's not why are you speaking of corporate governance? Is not enough for a company just to make profits. See, profit is not the only motive. It might be the most important motive, but it should not be the only motive, because if profit is the motive, then company will, say for example, it will set arbitrarily high prices, produce goods of cheaper variety by procuring raw material of cheaper variety. So it will get profits, but that's not good corporate governance. Okay, so there should be this environment awareness, ethical behavior. Okay, say a chemical factory is there. It's producing a lot of pollutants and releasing into the atmosphere. So the company should, say for example, there are no rules regarding the company should process this outgoing waste. So a lot of gases are coming off and releasing in the atmosphere. The company has an option of establishing a treatment plant, an effluent treatment plant. Say there is no government rule on this, the company should do it. But if the company voluntarily takes a decision like these pollutants released to the atmosphere will be harmful for the surrounding villages, or say pollutant water released into rivers will affect the life in the river and people who depend on it, and the company voluntarily set up an effluent treatment plant which sort of processes this effluents and the concentration of pollutants reduced. So that is good corporate governance. Okay, so corporate governance is not just about profits, it's around other stakeholders also, customers, okay, government, the regulators, community. Okay, that is one point. And then we discuss for board of directors are very important. For the among them the CEO and the directors, proper norms should be laid out, so who are eligible. Then related party transactions are there. So usually we see this lot of big companies who have group companies. So say for example Reliance is there. Reliance has so many companies. Reliance Industries is there. There's it's into telecom, it's into natural gas. Okay, so all are there. So group companies. In the balance sheet, the companies have to disclose the names and names of related party transactions. So say for example, a company uses raw material to manufacture a product. The company requests raw material. Okay, but the company is buying raw material from the sister company. Now this might not be good. Maybe it's buying to help that company to grow, whereas a better quality at a lower price is available for some other competitor. So These related party transactions should be disclosed, and key management personnel who are associated with group concerns. All these are related party transactions. This also comes under corporate governance. So what is the information you're disclosing in your financial statements? What is the transparency you're having? This is also part of corporate governance. Then segment reporting, how much income you're obtaining from each geographic segments, from each business segment. This segment reporting is also part of corporate governance. So RBI has prescribed a minimum framework for disclosure of banks. So what is the minimum disclosure you have to make? So RBI has made, especially in the risk exposure in derivatives. So in this chapter, just if you have to prepare like what is meant by corporate governance, just you should be able to speak towards the 3 sentences on what is meant by corporate governance. It's basically a set of rules, controls and policies. Okay, so it involves the balancing of the interests of various stakeholders. It's not just about company making profits, but balancing the interest of various stakeholders.